My flight was canceled during a winter storm. The airline placed me on a replacement flight scheduled to depart at 6:20 the following morning. Rather than paying for a hotel, I decided to remain inside the airport overnight. Shortly after 2, almost every shop was closed. The terminal was empty, except for cleaners and a few other stranded passengers. I was trying to sleep near gate 14 when an announcement woke me. A woman's voice said my full name. She instructed me to report immediately to gate 0. I checked my boarding pass. It still showed gate 14. There was no gate 0 on the airport map. A second announcement repeated my name and warned that boarding would close in 5 minutes. I assumed the airline had moved the flight, so I followed the signs towards the lower numbered gates. Beyond gate 1, I found an unmarked corridor with its security door standing open. A temporary sign inside read, Gate 0. The corridor led to an older section of the airport. The carpet was faded, and the advertising posters appeared decades out of date. At the end was a small departure lounge. Approximately 20 passengers sat silently in the chairs. None had luggage or phones. They all faced the dark windows overlooking the runway. A gate agent stood behind the desk. She held out her hand and asked for my boarding pass. Something felt wrong, so I asked which flight was departing. She gave me the correct flight number. Then she said the destination was a city I had never planned to visit. I stepped backwards. Every seated passenger turned towards me at the same time. The gate agent repeated that boarding was about to close. I ran back through the corridor. The security door slammed shut behind me. When I returned to gate 14, an airport employee was searching for me. My actual flight had begun boarding early, and they had called my name several times. I asked about gate 0. The employee said no such gate existed. Airport security reviewed the area with me. The door I had entered was locked and marked authorized personnel only. Behind it was a short maintenance corridor ending at a concrete wall. There was no departure lounge. Before boarding, I checked my phone. The airline application showed that my boarding pass had already been scanned. According to the system, I had entered gate 0 at 2:17 a.m. The destination listed was still unfamiliar. I searched the flight number. It had belonged to a passenger plane that disappeared over the ocean 34 years earlier. The aircraft was never found. My replacement flight landed safely later that morning. When I turned on my phone, I received one final notification from the airline. Your flight has departed. You are not on board. Chapter 2. The Wrong Suitcase. My sister traveled alone for a work conference. When she arrived, her suitcase did not appear on the baggage carousel. After waiting for 40 minutes, she reported it missing. The airline located a suitcase matching her description in the baggage office. It was the same brand, color, and size. A luggage tag displayed her full name and flight number.
She took it to her hotel. The combination she normally used opened the lock.
Inside were clothes in her size, toiletries from the same brands she used, and a second pair of the shoes she was wearing. But the suitcase was not hers. Every item was new. The clothes had been arranged into 3 complete outfits, one for each remaining day of her trip. At the bottom was an envelope. Inside were photographs of my sister arriving at the airport. One showed her checking in. Another showed her waiting at security. The final photograph had been taken inside the baggage claim area, less than an hour earlier. She contacted the police. Officers collected the suitcase and searched her hotel room. They found no sign that anyone had entered. The airline confirmed that the luggage tag was genuine, but the suitcase had not been checked onto her flight. It had appeared in the baggage office without being recorded by any scanner. My sister moved to another hotel and withdrew from the conference. The following morning, police returned her original suitcase. It had been found beside an emergency exit at the airport. Nothing appeared to be missing. Then she checked the camera she had packed inside. The battery was empty. although she had fully charged it before traveling. The memory card contained one new video. It showed my sister sleeping in her original hotel room. The recording had been made at 3:12 that morning, hours after she had moved to another hotel. Someone stood beside the bed, arranging the new outfits on a chair. Their face never entered the frame. At the end of the recording, the person picked up the camera and carried it through the hotel corridor. They entered the lift and pressed a button. The lift display did not show a floor number. It showed a baggage claim symbol. When the doors opened, the person stepped directly into the airport luggage hall. Police could not explain the footage. The hotel and airport were more than 10 kilometers apart. My sister never collected the unfamiliar suitcase. Several weeks later, a package arrived at her home. Inside was one of the new outfits. It was the exact outfit she had planned to wear that day. Chapter 3. The Passenger in 18C. A friend of mine worked as a flight attendant. During a late flight, she noticed the call light above seat 18C repeatedly turning on. The aircraft was not full. Seats 18A and 18B were occupied by a married couple, but 18C was empty. The first time the light activated, my friend assumed one of the passengers had pressed the wrong button. They both denied touching it. She reset the light. Several minutes later, it turned on again. This time, an elderly man in 18A asked whether their companion could have some water. My friend asked who he meant. The man pointed towards the empty seat. He said a young woman had been sitting there since takeoff. His wife agreed. They described her as pale, quiet, and dressed in a gray coat. She had not spoken, but they had both seen her fastening her seatbelt before departure. My friend checked the passenger manifest. Seat 18C had not been sold. She brought the couple water and asked another attendant to inspect the seat. Nobody found anything unusual. Halfway through the flight, the aircraft experienced turbulence. My friend checked that everyone was seated. As she passed row 18, the seatbelt across 18C was fastened. The empty cushion beneath it was pressed down as if someone were sitting there. My friend unfastened the belt. The buckle was cold enough to hurt her fingers. Shortly afterwards, the call light activated again. A woman's voice came through the intercom beside the galley. She said, "Please tell them I'm still here." The pilots had not made an announcement, and passengers had no access to the intercom system. After landing, everyone left the aircraft except the couple from row 18. They remained beside the gate and asked what would happen to the young woman. My friend told them nobody had occupied 18C. The couple became visibly upset. They insisted the woman had walked off the aircraft immediately before them. Airport staff reviewed the manifest and boarding records. No unidentified passenger had entered the plane. While cleaning row 18, my friend found a passport beneath seat 18C. It belonged to a woman named Sarah Bennett. The photograph matched the description given by the couple. Police determined that Sarah had disappeared from the same airport 11 years earlier. She had checked in for a flight, but never boarded. Her passport had not been recovered. Security contacted Sarah's family and returned it to them. My friend continued working as a flight attendant, but avoided that route whenever possible. Months later, she was assigned to the same flight again. As passengers boarded, she checked row 18. Seat 18C was empty. Just before the doors closed, its call light turned on. Then a woman whispered through the intercom, "This time, don't leave without me."